How did a tiny pancake brand go from selling door-to-door in brown paper bags to raking in $200 million a year, while other brands with more budget, flashier ads are still stuck? If you run a small e-commerce brand, you know the grind. You try every hack, you chase every trend, but sometimes that breakout moment just doesn't come. But that secret is not about going viral or landing some Shark Tank deal. From everything that we've analyzed, it comes down to one strategic shift. Today, I'm going to show you what Kodiak Cakes did and the 4-step framework that you can use to win big in 2026 with your brand. Let's be real. Most brands waste a lot of time trying to appeal to everybody. They add more SKUs, they blend into this generic, high-quality mush, a price race to the bottom, a retail rush. Overall, they end up working harder, not smarter. Most brands are like static on a radio dial. You're trying to broadcast to every single frequency at once. It's a blur of noise where nobody can hear your song. The brands that actually do well are not getting louder, they're just finding the right channel. They become that one clear, crisp channel that knows exactly who their audience is. And once you make that pivot, everything changes. Kodiak Cakes began as a family recipe in 1982. Joel Clark, the founder, hustling whole grain pancake mix in brown bags door to door. For 30 years, they were tiny. Fast forward to 2010, the market is packed. Healthy pancakes are a dime a dozen. Now pay attention, because here's where everything changed. While most brands they were competing with were doubling down on what didn't work, Kodiak Cakes went another direction. They ditched healthy pancakes and they went all in on protein-packed, gym-friendly power cakes. Now it wasn't just breakfast, it was performance fuel. Pancakes for the fit, disciplined, the macro counters. Shark Tank 2014, rejected by every shark. But when that episode aired, sales exploded. The fitness community saw themselves. This guilt-free indulgence had finally arrived. Kodiak leaned hard into this. They landed Costco, they launched waffles, and by 2020, $200 million a year. They didn't reinvent the product. Same pancakes, entirely new story. They didn't reinvent the wheel, they just changed the direction the car was going. So let's break down what they did and how it's a trend that you can repeat for continued success. Imagine 2 pancake brands. One of them is selling to families who want to have breakfast together, gym rats, vegans, and vegetarians, and the other brand is only focused on one market, the gym goers. Now, gym goers might be a much smaller market segment than all these other markets combined, but if I'm a gym goer, I'm going to go with the one that suits my needs specifically, because if they're only targeting me, I assume that they are the best at doing what I need. And this story has been told a million times, right? It's like, oh, niche down, the riches are in the niches. Bear with me for a second, because there's a trend here that continues to repeat over and over. We identified it and we broke it down into a system. We call it PROP. Pinpoint the rising pain point, reposition the story, not just the thing, own one tribe completely, and personalize every single step. So let's walk through each one of these. Kodiak Cakes didn't invent protein obsession. They identified a rising pain point with data. Fitness folks wanted comfort food that also fit the macros, and nobody could deliver. So how do you spot these trends overall before they go mainstream? One way is exploding topics. You find what's starting to rise before it goes everywhere, and you do that by identifying these similarities in the products that are already working well. So for example, things like protein coffee, adaptogenic drinks, super greens gummies, whatever your market wildcard is. Let's take a look at the brand Olipop. They did not invent soda. They saw a rising interest in gut health, pre and probiotics, and then they created a soda that hit that niche as well as being healthier. So your job really is to use trend-finding tools like Google Trends, exploding topics, to identify what the pain points are by looking for these macro trends and seeing what groups of products are already succeeding and what do they have in common. Then you reposition your product to be the solution to that problem. And you can do this with any product. If you don't believe me, drop me a comment below and give me a product, give me a niche. I will show you how to reposition it live. All right, so step 2 is reposition. This is where you shift your story. So what tension, what problem are you solving? Kodiak's mission was fusing comfort foods with discipline, something that was polar opposites. And successful brands, which could be yours, are solving these emotional contradictions. Luxury versus affordability, health versus indulgence, fun versus productivity. You've got to show them the solution to their problem, not just how the product benefits their lives a little bit. Then you can rewrite your copy. So healthy pancakes becomes protein-packed pre-workout fuel. Premium coffee becomes energy and brain health for creators. Then you need to test your idea. Run a micro-influencer collab or a tiny Facebook ad set. If your engagement increases, double down. Now let's look at step 3, which is creating your own secret club. Most brands are just static, broadcasting on every channel. They have no loyal listeners. In practical terms, it's you scrolling through Amazon and buying a product solely based on reviews and the lowest price, rather than you knowing the brand because they are solving a problem that you have. Kodiak became a go-to channel. One genre, one fierce fan base, the fitness community. When you serve one obsessed audience, everything changes. Stories, offers, loyalty. How likely are you to give your email address to a brand you have no emotional connection with? A brand that isn't talking directly to you, trying to solve a problem that you've had for a while. I'm not. So you don't sell to everyone. That's a huge mistake everybody's making. And they still make it. Sell to one person. Literally just one person who's got a painful problem. Then you got to build a community, not just a list. That could be a private Facebook group, Discord, Slack, whatever it is. Then feature your customers. Let them sell the product for you. When you do this, when you target one person's very specific problem, all of a sudden, your customers become your marketing team. Now, step 4 is to go deeper on personalization. Brands are winning by providing unforgettable service. Handwritten notes, free upgrades, personalized replies. Take Everlane. A simple handwritten thank you note in every box turned customers into loyal fans. Now, Kodiak kept their gritty outdoor vibe even as they scaled. Automated, sterile e-commerce is everywhere. Just look at how many Shopify plugins there are for customer service responses or FAQ sections. So use surprise as a strategy. Include a free sample, upgrade their shipping, identify areas where you're only spending a little bit more time and money, but it's going to have a huge impact on the emotional response of your customer. If you want specific examples of how to do this with a specific product, just drop it in the comments below. I'll search through some trends and I'll give you a strategy for free. Then you want to close the feedback loop. When a customer suggests something, not only do you implement it, but you tell them that you implemented it after they recommended it. Hey Sarah, you asked for a larger size. Here it is, and here's a coupon code to buy it. That could mean replying to an Instagram comment with a reel in which you answer the question and thank the customer for their feedback. Now, if you're a D2C brand, try sending a handwritten thank you note to your next 20 customers, or DM a customer who left you a review and thank them personally. Track all of those customers and watch what happens to your repeat purchase rate. You've got to go the extra mile. You could host a surprise customer appreciation live stream, give early access to new products to your most active community members. The more you make people feel like insiders, the more loyal they become. I know all the doubts. I've heard them a million times. Ben, my niche is too small. Good. A small niche is a blessing. It's a market that you can actually dominate. Big companies cannot market to one tiny subset of a community the way that you can. And forget about the ad costs. Your foundation is going to be an organic community and a relatable story. Once things are working and you've built this community and you've got organic traffic, then you can step on the gas with paid ads, but it's only an accelerator. It's not your starting point. So let's lock it in one more time. The prop framework is a trend, and it's a rising trend that is rapidly growing e-com businesses. So pinpoint the pain points, reposition your product, own the tribe, and personalize the experience. Use data to inform these decisions, not guesses or gut feelings. Those can be a starting point, but always come back to the data. So here's something that you can do right now. Head to explodingtopics.com/topic. It is totally free. You can look at trending products, trending brands, trending concepts. Look at the category closest to your niche and see what kind of macro trends you can identify. Are there a larger number of products or trends that are solving a specific pain point, a specific problem for people? Then ask yourself, without spending any more money, just by editing product listings or changing a couple ad copies, what can you do this week that will more specifically target the problem that your customer has? Drop it in the comments. I reply to every single one. I'm happy to help. Because the reality is that sometimes the leap from obscurity to 200 million a year is just changing the story. Now, this path is not paved with luck. It's paved with trend data. I sound biased. I know. I am. But it really is, because if Kodiak could go back in time and look at all these different trends without having to wait and find out the hard way after 30 years of grueling work, they could have accelerated their growth a lot faster. So if you want to grow your brand in 2025 and 2026, hit subscribe. I'm going to share a lot more e-commerce trends that are allowing brands to win big. I'm going to break all these trends down into action items that you can get started on immediately. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.